Welcome back to another episode of Cobra Kai Companion. I'm Peter.
I'm Brianna.
And you guys, we have another interview making her triumphant return, Hannah Kepple. How you doing, Hannah?
I'm doing great, guys. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the first time Brianna's spoken with you. So, Brianna, I'll let you kick it off if you got questions you want to jump in with.
Oh, no, just, right off the bat, Style Icon making an appearance here with us today.
She's a model.
Yes, absolutely. I love the whole look. It's that whole winter lockdown chic thing.
Yes, for sure. Me waking up like 30 minutes ago, being cold.
Oh, you know what? I just went outside to have a cigarette and it's like 28 out there. And I'm like,
How are you guys?
I'm in Illinois.
Oh, wow.
Oh my gosh, so yeah.
I'm in Portland. It's only 38. That's not bad.
Let's see where. Okay, it's 37 where I'm at, so we're about the same.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not too bad.
Yeah, it was sleeting and snowing and doing all that lovely stuff all night long outside.
Surprisingly, it has not yet snowed in Portland, you
Really?
know, but I think either last year or the year before, we had like a snow day or two, like in March. So,
Wow.
yeah,
I
just because we
remember
haven't had it
that.
yet.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
sent us a video of it. It was like a blizzard out
Yeah.
there, and here it was like 48 and the sun was out, and which
Yeah.
never
Rub it in.
happens.
Sure.
It never happens. He always has way better weather than I do.
I don't know about all that. But Hannah, we haven't spoken to you since the move to Netflix. What has that been like for you?
Oh, it's crazy. I think it's nothing we could have really expected. All the support and now I feel like there's a wider fan base across the world, and that's so cool to hear from people from different areas. It's been amazing. All the support and people giving their opinions on what should happen next and what they think of the characters. It's so cool. I love to hear it.
If there's one thing this fandom can do, it is absolutely give their opinions, solicited or otherwise.
That is for sure.
One of the things that happened with Moon in season 2 in particular, she became a single point of representation for a whole lot of people with one scene that I thought was very spectacularly done. Because the LGBTQ community, a lot of writers kind of want to make it a big point, like a virtue signaling thing, and we're inclusive. But with Moon, it was just like, okay, she's bi and she has a girlfriend now.
Yeah.
What have you gotten any kind of feedback from the LGBTQ community about what it feels like to them to have some representation on screen?
I've gotten a little bit, especially after the release of 2. And I'm so glad that our show decided to go in that direction, and have some sort of representation for a wider variety of people. I hope that continues, and I hope that maybe that storyline will be developed more eventually. Who knows? But it's been amazing to hear from people, and I'm so glad that it means a lot to a lot of people.
I did notice Piper was missing from the Love-In. And I was actually really disappointed. I kind of thought she'd be there for that. So,
yeah, me too. She's such a cool person in real life, and also I just love her character. So, fingers crossed for the future. We'll see.
Yes.
There's another project I wanted to discuss because we haven't seen Moon kick any butt, but I have seen you play another character where you had to get a little physical in Your Worst Nightmare.
Oh, God.
So just to kind of give us like a bit of a timeline, when was that filmed?
Okay, so I think that one was filmed right before we started season 2.
Okay.
Yes. So that was a little bit ago.
So for those that don't know, Your Worst Nightmare is a true crime show. You were in season 5, episode 8, I believe it was, Behind the Barn. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I did watch that in preparation for this because I was a little curious because I know your mom is into true crime podcasts too. There's nothing to be embarrassed of. I mean, it's a very meaty episode with you in it because I've seen true crime. I watched a lot of true crime shows, and usually the dramatized stuff, you don't get very much of it. And in this episode, it was a lot of dramatization and very little of the talking heads. So you play Christy Ray,
Yes, Christy Ray.
right? So for those that don't know, she was abducted and ultimately found killed after having been raped. So this is very heavy stuff right now. Obviously, we're talking about Cobra Kai, but uh, what type of preparation did you have to go through for a role like that? Did you get any kind I guess, did they give you material to kind of study, or was it all just kind of direction and a script?
Yeah, so I think at that point, when I realized I got the role, I really wanted to make sure that I at least knew her story, because it, of course, actually happened, and it kind of hit home because she, a little bit older than I was at the time. I think she's 20, so how old I am now, something like that. But it kind of hit home, like this girl just ultimately minding her own business and ending up in this situation, and she had just this huge future ahead of her and all these prospects. So I really wanted to be able to at least know her story to the best of my ability. So I did a lot of research, watched a lot of news clips and articles and things. The woman that, I don't know the title that she would have, but like making sure everything's accurate, and she would talk with the actual people, she would interview them. She gave me some information that was super great. Like she told me that Christy always had her nails done. Her nails were always like red, and she loved having her nails done, and like giving me little tidbits and things. But it was a project that kind of happened so quickly, and we filmed it so quick. I learned a lot, and although it was some heavy material, it was a lot of fun to be a part of, and I love doing any sort of stunts, so it was so much fun to be able to do a tiny bit of that.
Sure. Again, it's nothing that we've well, I mean, there's things that we've seen you do, but yeah, you're put into a lot of different scenes, and I believe it took place in 1993. So Christy Ray, she also worked at like a movie rental place. Like, is that foreign to you? Is that something you've ever done before?
Oh my gosh, no, I have very vivid memories of going to Blockbuster with my family, and like being able to pick out movies. So I loved it. I feel like they're all closed now, right? Like they don't really exist anymore. But no, I loved Blockbuster. I would always go there.
I think we still have one in Oregon.
Really?
Yeah, I think they're, kind of promoted as like the last one left.
Dang. All right, I have to go.
There you go.
I say even we had a family video here, and they've been gone for about a year and a half.
Oh, wow.
And usually things like that, the last place they happen is where I am, because I am in the middle of social nowhere. Like we're so forgotten that we had the McRibs all through the 90s because McDonald's just forgot to take them away from us. So
That's amazing. Hey, that's a perk.
it was. And then they remembered we were there, and now we only get them once a year, and it's so disappointing. I hate it.
So how do you guys keep getting the supply for it then?
I don't know. Well, we're only like 45 minutes from PFD, which is McDonald's main distributor in Illinois.
Okay.
To get to the mall, we have to drive past the McDonald's factory.
Okay.
So yeah, McDonald's factory. What a weird way to put that.
But yeah, we'll move away from your worst
Factory
nightmare.
food. Yeah.
I recommend it for the Hannah Kepple fans. So
Thank
yeah.
you.
Mm-hmm.
So what have you been doing to keep yourself busy this last 9.5, 10 months? Have you developed any new hobbies? Anything?
Oh yes. Yeah, so I was in LA last year around this time. I made the big move. I was gonna be out there on my own. My family drove me across the country. Tears were shed. We were ready for this new chapter, and then 2 months later I came home. So since COVID and everything, I've been back in my family home. Spent a lot of time with family, which has been really nice. I got into painting. That's something that like I never really did before. That was super nice. Um, I tried various types of forms of exercise with gyms being closed. Like I got into boxing a little bit. We have a bag in our barn, which is super fun. I'm trying to think of what else. I did a lot of reading, which I'm hoping to continue as well because I think that that's just so good for you anyways, and it's so fun. Watched a lot of movies, a lot of TV shows. Um,
What do you
What
paint? Do you do portraits or landscapes or abstract throw paint at the canvas?
yeah, more of that, getting out any sort of emotion. I painted my door, which was really fun. I've just painted canvases, kind of more like abstract, I guess. I'm trying to think. I painted a lot of objects. I painted my cabinet, just different things, trying to spruce up my room, I think, a little bit since I moved back. I was like, you know what, I'm going to make this a new space. So I did a lot of painting in my room. And it was a lot of fun. Like, painting's super soothing. Do it while you're watching a movie or something. It's great.
You mentioned movies and TV show. Is there anything that maybe not you rediscovered, but something that you put on the back burner for a while and watched, and you're just like, oh my God, why didn't I watch this any sooner? Whether TV show or movie.
Yes, so many of those. I have to admit, I have a lot of movies, like especially like Oscar-nominated movies that like I know are going to be amazing, but I just haven't seen them. Especially like heavier ones, because you're like, I'll wait till I'm in the mood for that. But then when are you ever in the mood for like a super heavy, dark movie?
Right.
Oh my gosh, I watched Black Swan for the first time, and I love kind of psychological thrillers. Oh my gosh, it was so good.
Yeah.
Love that movie. What is it called? Bridges of August. What is it? August Osage County or something? What is it? Oh, I did.
Madison County?
Madison County, the
Bridges.
bridges of Madison County?
Yes, that one. Oh my gosh, that one's amazing. I watched 3 Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri. Wow, that movie, so good.
These are some quality movies.
Oh my
So,
gosh, yeah.
yeah.
One of my good friends, he has this huge DVD collection where he has just like bookshelves of DVDs.
Yeah.
And I have a little DVD player that I can hook up to the TV in my room. And so I just like took stacks of his DVDs and I'd watch those. So that was really fun.
Awesome. Transitioning back into season 2, you know, Brianna referenced the scene with Piper, but in that scene, we're inside Moon's house, and she's throwing a party. What are some stories that you may be able to share behind the scenes, kind of off, when the cameras aren't rolling, just kind of filming that entire sequence?
Those scenes were a lot of fun to film because I feel like majority of the cast was a part of the party in some way. There's lots of scenes with lots of different characters. And that's really cool because I feel like Cobra Kai, the storyline is kind of separated, and so sometimes I'm not able to see people as much. Like, I don't ever really film with Tanner, so I don't see him as often, and other people. And so that one was really cool because like everybody was there, and we all got to hang out. That house was, oh my gosh, it was amazing. So we got to explore the house a little bit. I'm trying to think of. It was pretty cold, so we were happy when the scenes were inside versus outside. I'm trying to think.
Jacob mentioned that there was some beer pong playing. Did you get in on that?
I didn't. I think that they were doing that while I was like filming other things, but it looked really fun, especially when I saw videos and when I walked up on it. Those guys are all great. It's so fun to hang out with them, and then with Sela coming in as Piper, she kind of fit right in with everybody. It was like she was always a part of the cast, and so it was really cool to hang out with her. It was really fun, and it was cool to like play host for the day, hostess.
So when we first entered, Moon has gone through on screen a lot of transformation, at least as to what we think about her. Because when we first meet her, she's one of the mean girls, and she's giggling about Aisha's weight, and she's, and then we get to, okay, well, she's kind of a ditz because she's talking about low-calorie pot, And then, as it goes forward, she's, so accepting and understanding. And by the end of the season, we're like totally rooting for her to get with Eli because she's this mean girl ditz, but she's really, really sweet. And then the interaction with Hawk at the beginning of season 2, when Moon is so pissed off about what he did what he did to Dimitri. And it's like, okay, there is a lot more to this girl than all of this. And she's kind of a hippie. No, scratch kind of. She's a big giant hippie.
Yeah.
So that makes her kind of the diametric opposite of literally every other cast member on this show. How do they handle Moon on set? Especially, I mean, you're there. You're part of this oneer, and you're part of this huge fight, and you're like quoting Rodney King in the hallway. So how do they give you direction for her versus everyone else? Do they give you anything specific, or do they just kind of let you take her where you want her to go?
I'm trying to think. I mean, she definitely evolves very much so from season 1 to season 3. I think season 1, I don't know if they knew what they wanted to do with her. I haven't really asked specifics, because she is very much kind of the, mean girl sidekick that kind of gets with the hot guy at the end. But I think that they saw something there. I don't know if it was with me personally or just with the character and what people thought of her and how she interacted with the characters. But season 2, I remember them like talking to me a bit more about like Moon's like not really into the karate because she just really wants all her friends to get along, and also like she wants to be friends with everybody, with Aisha, and she's also still friends with Yasmin, even though Yasmin, acted the way she did. And then we did eventually talk about her dating a girl and kind of what that meant. And I mean, it made total sense to me. I didn't ever really question it. I was like, yeah, that makes sense. That's who Moon is. I think she just kind of loves everybody, and it doesn't really matter. And then season 3, we see kind of a little bit, but it's been really cool. I feel like maybe they kind of saw what I kind of initially did with her and wanted to expand on it more. And I've loved everything that they've done with her. So I'm excited to see what we do in 4.
Before we talk more about season 3, in season 2, one of my favorite episodes of all 3 seasons is 205 All In. So that very emotional scene between Moon and Hawk, what can you share about filming that with Jacob?
Oh my gosh, I was so excited to film that because it was a scene that was totally different than I think anything else that anybody's seen from Moon. And I don't know, Jacob's so talented, and he's just such a like fun guy in general. So every time we have a scene, I always enjoy working with him because he's very much a professional, but he's always cracking up, and he's great. And so I wasn't really worried or anything about that scene. I was more excited than anything, and it was a lot of fun. I feel like we connected and we showed these sides to these characters that needed to happen. It was so fun. Oh my gosh. I loved that scene. That was definitely, I think, one of my top scenes to film.
Also, that was directed by Josh Hield, one of my favorite directors for the series too, obviously.
And that scene, I love it too. It's one of my favorite Moon scenes of all time. But Cobra Kai fans, being what they are and having opinions, a lot of people thought that was incredibly hypocritical of her to stay friends with Yasmin through everything that Yasmin has done to everyone around her, and break up with Hawk for, the first real incidents of him doing anything nasty to his friends. Did you expect that kind of backlash from it? Have you seen it? Did it take you by surprise?
Yeah, I guess I've seen a little bit of it. And I totally get it. I think that it's, at least personally, I feel like it's more the mentality of her forgiving and letting go with Yasmin, and kind of seeing that I mean, we didn't see this till 3, but that like Yasmin's kind of making a change. Like she's still who she is, but she's not necessarily a bully anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But then with Hawk, I feel like Moon saw him evolving into a bully, and I don't think, I mean, it was this one instance, but I think she saw repeated behaviors from him, and the kind of from Eli to Hawk to this like Hawk 2.0 that's more of like, you know, violent and aggressive and then this bully. And I think she kind of saw him going down this slope, and I think she, for better or worse, for herself and also looking out for him, decided that he needed to have this change and she needed to not have him in her life. And I don't know. I'm excited to see what happens with them. If who knows?
There's definitely some. I mean, the soccer game. You know, there was something there, or that episode 204. So yeah, we'll definitely see. So for your return in season 3, did you just get an email? Did somebody reach out to you and say, "Hey, Moon's back," and check on your availability?
Yeah, so how it normally works is they will call me and let me know, or they'll call my agent, and my agent will call me being like, these are the dates that we have in mind. Sometimes they'll let me know the episodes, and I'm thinking that was kind of the gist of it last season.
One of the things that I like, just real quick back to the scene with Eli. Probably the only time, because she's not she doesn't get involved in the fights and she's not the big hero, you don't cheer for her. I actually kind of yelled, "You go, girl," at the screen during that, when he tried to hold the tattoo over her and she spins around and goes, "I didn't ask you to do that." And I love that. Like, you are not holding that above me. That was your decision. And I love it.
Yeah, I love it too. I think it shows you, Moon's, yes, she can be a bit of a ditz, but she does have a mind of her own, and she's got to look out for herself as well as others. And yeah, what person gets a tattoo of their girlfriend when they've only been dating for I don't even know what the timeline was. Weeks, maybe?
Like 6 weeks.
6 weeks? Like, oh my gosh. He I guess he's just an extreme person, so...
Yeah, I would say we saw him flip the script in season 1, so not a surprise. But yeah, it was a really good moment for sure. So when you returned for season 3, talk about your first day back on the set. And I don't think there was any new characters in season 3 that you interacted with, because you already met Nate from season 2, obviously. Aiden and Khalil, they were all there too. But just kind of the reunion, is it just like going back to school again?
Oh yeah, I think it's like, it's like going to like summer camp every year, and it's the same kids that you see, and I feel like all of our friendships. I'm in North Carolina, and most of them are in California. I know Khalil's in Chicago, and a few others are kind of spread out. So I don't think there's not a lot of interactions between seasons other than, like texting and stuff. We don't get to like see each other. And so it's always so great to reconnect in person every season. And it's just like one of those friendships where I feel like we just kind of pick right back up where we left off last time we all saw each other. So it's always a lot of fun. I think we're very, very lucky that we have the cast and crew that we do.
I know we can't get into it at all, so like if you've gotten scripts or calls for availability, I know you can't tell us any of that. But like between season 1 and 2, you had those like 11 months, and between the release, and then you had 3 or 4 months between release and picking back up and going back to Atlanta again. And the same for season 2. Now, because we had that huge, almost 2-year delay in getting season 3 to the screen, they're back down there 3 weeks later. So there hasn't really been time to fit in, interviews and press and, all of the things that were there where you guys were doing things all summer long for season 2 and where everything had to be shoved into like 2.5 weeks in January this year. How has have you been out on press other than the Josh Gad reunited? You were on that, yes?
No, I wasn't.
You weren't.
Oh, I freaking would have died. I love him. I love him since he did Book of Mormon. I'm a huge musical person, and he is hilarious in that musical. Oh my gosh! And then of course all his others that he's done with film and everything. But no, I would have died. It looked amazing. It looked like they had so much fun.
I'd pay good money to see that full length interview, because when they chop like 15 people down to 45 minutes, there's stuff missing, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I tried tweeting at Josh Gad saying, as much as that, it's like, I will pay, to get the raw footage.
But what about the like increased speed of the press that you guys have done after season 3? Has that been like completely, have you had any trouble dealing with it, or have you been involved in that much at all?
Yeah, I think maybe it's a little. I think it's easier in the sense that a lot of things are over Zoom. We don't have to go places in person. It's great because I feel like a lot of interviews are like just sending the questions and we need to finish them by a certain date. And so that's nice. You can kind of do it on our own time. But I can only speak from personal experience. I'm sure like some of the series regulars have way more press that they're having to deal with. But it's been pretty nice for me, and it's nice that I can be in my PJs with like just a nice top on, and do these sort of interviews and connect with people. With COVID and everything, a lot of things have changed, but I feel like for interviews and press, it's not necessarily been a bad thing.
So with season 3, haven't been the transition from YouTube to Netflix. Obviously, that was a bit of a process. When season 3 finally came, how soon were you able to watch the entire season?
So, I haven't watched the entire season yet.
Okay. Okay.
To be perfectly honest, and it's only because my parents like literally started it as soon as they woke up, which was hours before me. And so, and I normally like binge it with friends and family, but with COVID and everything, decided that probably wasn't the safest option. So my family has binged the whole thing, and I've like sat down and watched certain episodes with them. And so far I love it. And I kind of I know everything that happens from filming and talking with cast members. But I think it's great. Honestly, I think it's a pretty close contender to season 1 as to my favorite season. Like I feel like season 3 is pretty freaking good.
I think so too.
I don't disagree. I think it's probably the best one we've gotten so far. I have no idea how they're going to top it, but I'm sure they will.
Well, I mean, I keep saying that this is the first season that I have rewatched this many times in the shortest span. But season 1 and 2, like I watched a number of times, but not like the first week. I think I already got in my second rewatch, and so now I'm up to like 5. I saw the first episode maybe 8 times now. So, but we review the episodes. But yeah, it's fantastic. It's a whole mood the entire season. But from what you know and what you have seen, what are your thoughts as a viewer of kind of how the Miyagi-Do students kind of flip their switch in season 3?
I mean, I like that it shows kind of different sides to these characters, because I think we all kind of have that potential in us. And I don't know. speaking from like as a viewer, I thought it was really neat to see and see these different sides of these characters. I mean, of course, all the badass fights that came out of this switch was so fun. And I don't know, I really enjoyed Sam's character this season. I thought we saw a new kind of depth to her in regards to her PTSD and this like more bad girl side to her that she's found within her, kind of as a repercussion with everything with Tori. And I don't know, the big three, they just do such a great job. The whole writing team, like you said, I don't know how they're going to top it season 4, but this season, I loved how we saw a lot of different sides to a lot of different characters. We got to see just I feel like just a darker kind of side. So I thought that was really, really neat.
So even though she is a pacifist, we do know that, pacifists like Mr. Miyagi do practice karate. If Moon were to join a dojo, totally, completely just your opinion, this is like the Hufflepuff Slytherin, is Moon Cobra Kai, Eagle Fang, which is the dumbest name for a dojo ever, or Miyagi-Do?
I've had lots and lots and lots of people give their opinions on this. And personally, if she were to join a dojo, I'm thinking it would be Miyagi. And only because I feel like they did have a more, gentler approach and a little more true to, I think, what Moon envisions karate should be, aside from all the drama. So I'm thinking Miyagi-Do, or maybe she'll start her own and do some sort of karate, yoga, peaceful mixture thing. Who knows?
I like that. And
yeah, I do too.
If not for nothing, and I like that line from Brett Ernst in the first episode, but she could also be like, oh, well, I thought like the bonsai was a strain, like they can kind of work that in. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, right.
Well, hey, she's from California. Daniel LaRusso is a strain in California, right? So she's been smoking Sam's dad. That sounds really bad.
It does.
Yeah, though, I mean... Oh, it's so funny.
Yeah, the whole world revolves around pot. But she's just, and I like your answer on that one, because I was kind of thinking the spirituality that Miyagi-Do taps into would be something that would kind of speak to her a little bit more than, kick ass and kill people.
Definitely. And I've always thought, I don't think Moon is against karate. I think she really respects it as a sport and all the other aspects of it. I think she just is very strongly against all the violence and drama that have occurred because of karate and how these kids are using it to start fights and use their skills learned from karate to incite the violence. I think that's what she's against. So we'll see.
I mean, you commented on the writing team, and we often say that they have the most brilliant writers in that writers' room. And Moon has already said that half the school knows karate. Like, I think it'd be kind of funny in episode or season 4, at some point, like randomly, Moon is like finds herself in a fight and can hold her own, and they kind of do a callback. It's like, I said half the school knew karate, like,
Right? Yeah. If they ever decide that Moon's gonna do karate, I'll be so interested to see how they incorporate that, because I have like my own kind of opinions of like maybe what could happen. Like, I see her like being in a fight telling people to stop and like accidentally hits her and she's like, okay, no, I'm ready, and she fights back, or I don't even know, but I would love to be a part of the fighting. I think stunt work is so fun, and it's, oh my gosh, these guys work so hard, and I really commend all of them, so it would be fun.
So we didn't get to see Moon's reaction on screen because you weren't in any of the scenes where this happened, which is actually really disappointing. But what do you think is Moon's take on the whole Dimitri Yasmin thing that's going on?
I think she is in full support. I think if she were on screen, she would be clapping and all for it. Because, I mean, these are two of her, good friends that she loves them both dearly. And I think as long as they, take care of each other, and I mean, who knows? I feel like their relationship's kind of like, we don't really know what it is yet, but I think Moon is in full support.
Awesome.
Yeah, that was really nice to see, and I'm not gonna take credit for it, but when Annalisa came, her and we discussed Dimitri taking her home from the beach party. I'm just saying, just saying.
She knows what she knows to write on his cast somehow, right?
Exactly.
I guess. Brianna.
Well,
No. So on the topic of Annalisa and Yasmin's return, there's some nice sequences back in school. Again, we got some season 1 vibes, especially the lunchroom. Any insight you can share with particularly the Lego scene between Hawk and Dimitri?
Oh yeah, that scene was a lot of fun. Gosh,
Do they have a bunch of different models to destroy?
I'm trying to think. I think that they only had 2 because this thing was you can see on the show, but oh my gosh, it was so elaborate, so huge, and it actually worked. It actually had the smoke and everything coming out, and those reactions aren't necessarily acting. We were wow, this is so cool. And I think I remember what we did is we shot a lot of the dialogue and everything leading up to the crash with this specific model, with the smoke and everything. And then they brought in another model that maybe didn't have the mechanics of the smoke and everything inside of it for the crash. And I think maybe they had 3 because maybe they had 2 that could be crashed. And so then there was the crash that happened. And then they had a destroyed model that they put in, and it was so cool. It was, I don't even know. I wish I remembered. They told us how long it took for them to build it, but I was just wow, that's crazy.
Dimitri said, Brianna, what was it, 3 weeks?
Yeah, Dimitri says 3 weeks, but the prop department, I would say, probably had it done in a few hours.
Oh, sure. When you have a team too that works in prop, yeah.
It's crazy, but it was so cool. It was very elaborate, and yeah.
But still, that would make me think of the domino people, that spend 12 hours putting all the dominoes for a 45-second payoff.
Right.
I want to see the bloopers where somebody just messes up and just ruins 2 hours of work.
Oh my gosh!
I want to see those.
Did anybody get hit on accident since this, soccer ball is flying? Because we know that in the scene on the soccer field, Jacob actually someone got hit in the face with that soccer ball when they were filming the actual game fight, whatever.
I think it was a stunt guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was there for most of that filming. And yeah, that was crazy. I'm trying to. I feel a few of us got hit with the Lego pieces and stuff, but nothing to really talk about. I don't think anybody got hit by the ball that time. Thank goodness.
Okay.
This talk about Lego, I completely forgot this new Lego account, the Lego Cobra Kai. It's a fantastic account if you guys aren't following it. I want to see them recreate the Lego scene in season 3 with Legos. How do you do that?
That would be crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to message them shortly after this.
Yes.
So one of the other comedic scenes of season 3 was the car wash, kind of starting off with Chris's nipple all up on the windshield there. We all know the story. Khalil's been wanting to do a shirtless scene ever since season 2. Can you give us the experience filming the car wash?
Oh yeah, it was so much fun. I feel we had a lot of cast members that were there, that were a part of it, and then like a few people were just hanging out watching. It was so fun. Oh my goodness. And Khalil, that scene, like, we all were dying while he was filming it. Like, we had to like be told to be quiet because we were all laughing so hard. He's just so funny, and that scene is so good. But it was fun. Like, I got to hang out with those girls as we were washing the car, and it was warm out, so it was so nice. And I feel like it didn't take too long to film. It was just like a really nice day. We got ice cream that day on set, which was awesome, and it's a really good memory. We had a lot of fun.
And that's another scene that I really related to and appreciated, just how much intelligence there is hidden in Moon. Because Sam is like, I thought you were a feminist, right? Why are you out here in a bikini getting soaking wet? And she's like, oh no, I'm a sex positive feminist. Which,
Yeah.
unless people are really into feminism, they don't even know that exists.
Oh, yeah.
So for her to identify as that at 16 is just like, she's going to be like the president of the United States or something one day. Because this girl knows her mind, and it's just really refreshing to see in a teenage character and a teenage girl on TV that, no, I'm doing this because this is my choice. This is not, I'm not, I'm here to turn the guys on. Yeah, but that's because I want to.
Exactly. I think it's definitely a moment that is, past, but I think it's a lot more important than people realize, and I'm so glad you feel that way, because I really do too. I feel like with Moon, you kind of got to watch out for her lines and her little scenes here and there, because they might be small and short, but I think she really packs a punch with her knowledge and her lines that she has, because I think there's more to her than we know, and I'm excited to see how she kind of evolves, and I think it's been really cool because I've kind of been learning who she is with each season, because like I didn't know these things season 1, and it's so cool to see her evolve and learn that, like, okay, she loves everybody, and when I say she loves everybody, like, she can be sexually attracted to a girl, sexually attracted to a boy. It's all about just loving the person, doesn't matter who they are. And then talking about feminism, and I'm excited to learn what else about her that she's passionate about.
She's definitely got a lot of layers, but on a show with so many characters and so many things going on, I think we're just robbed of some like really magical moments with Moon. Again, like the writers, they give her these lines, and they're all very placed in all the great scenes, and I think there's so much with so little that she says that I feel there's got to be a whole lot of like fanfic out there. And you mentioned that you've been doing some reading. Have you come across any Moon fan fiction that you really enjoyed?
Oh my gosh, that's so funny you mentioned that. I was with one of my good friends yesterday, and I never like Google my name, or I'll do like Moon Cobra Kai stuff sometimes, but we were looking up TikToks and things and fan fiction, and there's some wild stuff out there. But you know what? Like I can appreciate it, because people that take the time to write down their opinions or their love for these characters with these like stories, I think it's super cool, and it's flattering. It's very flattering, and
I noticed you're not getting into detail, so that's fine. We'll Google Moon Cobra Kai or so.
Yeah, we can brush past it very quickly by saying most of Moon's fans are under 18, so it's not illegal. So
Okay.
we'll just keep moving. But I think it's a testament not only to the writers, but also to your performance. I mean, we know for them to give a minor character, I mean, a recurring character that we get maybe 3 or 4 episodes, maybe 3 or 4 lines per episode. And she has such depth and such development that never happens with minor recurring characters on television. And it's something that, and they all get that. Like, everyone that speaks a line gets some kind of development, and it's just mind-blowing that they pack all that in there. And your performance brings her, because it's like she's discovering herself as you're learning new things about her through the script. And it makes her very, very relatable, because teenage girldom is hell. And
Yes.
Moon is making her way through it pretty well.
Yeah. And I think it goes to show, I think going back to the comment of people saying she's a hypocrite and all these things, and it's like, of course, like, Moon isn't perfect, and she's going to make mistakes, but I think she's, really discovering what she really believes in, and trying to make decisions based on that. And I think I really love how they depict especially all the female characters, because it's not easy, and kind of the rivalries that happen, and female on female dynamic versus male on male and male and female. Like, girls in high school can be brutal and vicious, and so can guys, but gosh. And so our writers, I will sing their praises all day long. I'm so lucky that, although, Moon's only in a couple episodes and only has a couple lines, all of those episodes and all of those lines really matter, and exactly, they really show you who she is in just a small little fraction.
As we get ready to wrap up, I have kind of one other thing. So Brianna, like, Instagram is very foreign to her. Like, she's got one, but she doesn't really know what to do and all that stuff. TikTok is that for me. Okay. So I don't see a lot of, like, your guys' TikToks unless you guys share it, and I just happen to catch it at the right time. There's this one that you did that, like, gave me life. It was like you doing karate, and there were, like, things popping up, and, like, I don't want to give too much away, but is there somewhere that, like, I'm imagining, like, your TikTok account is probably where we can see it, but is there anywhere else for people like me who don't know TikTok? Like, can we see that again somewhere? Because it's hilarious.
No, Peter, we're in the same boat.
Okay.
I am not a TikTok person. I have refused to have an account. I have one, just like a personal one, that I, like, look at TikToks, but I don't ever really create any content.
Okay.
I kind of refuse to. Who knows if that'll change. But yeah, there's this challenge on TikTok that's really cool. It's for Cobra Kai. It's, like, called Cobra Kai Chop, I think. And it's this, like, filter that you can put on, and you can, like, it's like Fruit Ninja, but with, like, Cobra Kai themed items that are on screen, and you're trying to hit them. And yeah, I just had this idea to, like, be silly and try and get them, and I got 0. This just goes to show.
Well, it was the setup. You basically said something like, "Oh, you guys wanted to see me do karate." Well, and you got this game face on, and then when all the items pop up, like, you're just, like, going at it. It's quite hysterical.
Well, thank you. It was a funny last minute idea, and I thought people would enjoy it.
Usually those are the best.
Right. Congratulations on the 0. I would get a negative number if such a thing exists.
Would you stand there not doing anything? I don't know. How do you get a negative?
I would create fruit that doesn't exist or whatever. I would be awful at it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I didn't realize that. I mean, again, I don't know TikTok, so I didn't think that it was a filter. But if there's a challenge on that, I don't know why we're not seeing more of that, like, kind of bleed into Instagram.
I know, yeah, and I know some of the other cast members were doing it for press reasons to, like, show it off. Like, I know there's one with Mary, maybe, and
Oh.
I don't know who else, but yeah, it's fun, and it's cool to see other people's as well.
Yeah. Oh, well. Brianna, you got anything else you want to ask Hannah, Cobra Kai, or anything? And if not, Hannah, do you have anything that you can promote, or anything that the viewers should keep an eye out for?
have some exciting things. I just filmed something in Atlanta that I'm super proud of and excited. I don't know when that's coming out. It'll probably be towards the end of the year. But just kind of be on the lookout. I guess I mainly just want to say, you know, everybody be safe. Look out for your loved ones and your family. But also, you know, 2021, I think it's super exciting. There's a lot of hope and new possibility, and I'm excited to see what comes of it with all different things in life. So we'll see. And season 4, so exciting!
Oh wow!
I'm looking forward to it. And somebody messaged me on Twitter the other day, and they were like, "Oh my God, did you hear that season 4 might be in 2022?" And I'm like, "Well, no, I didn't, but so."
Yeah.
And they're like, "But that's gonna be forever." And I'm like, "No, because we got season 3 in 2021, so season 4 in 2022 makes sense." It's like, look, if they can get it to us every 12 months ish, I'm good. Don't make me wait 2 years ago. You know, don't make me wait 2 years again. But 12 months is not. And then they're like, "Oh, I didn't even think of it like that."
Must be a Netflix fan.
Right. It's like those people that were so upset about that 4 months. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, you guys are like, you have no idea, buddy. Sit down.
Exactly.
None.
Yeah, I have no idea. I guess that would make the most sense for it to be a year later, but who knows? I feel like Netflix, you can never really know until they promote.
Right, and I'm looking at them. I'm like, okay, well, September to December is the normal filming schedule. Now we're January to April, and then 4 months post. And oh my God, we could have this in September. And I need to stop thinking like that because it's never going to happen. They're not going to.
You never know.
Who knows?
They're not going to give us 2 seasons in one calendar year, and they're not going to give us season 4 that close to
Brianna,
the beginning of Emmy season. They're going to push it
with
back
that
a
attitude, we may not get it.
You never want to be released at the beginning of Emmy season, though. You want to be at the end so they remember you.
I got you, but Moon is sitting in front of us. We gotta like, what's the chakras line?
Yes, guys, let's manifest this.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Give me some actual THC in the smoothie, and then we'll talk about it.
And then we'll chill.
Right.
All right. I think we could just end it right there.
Yeah, I think so. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you, Hannah.
Stay warm. Enjoy your warm fuzzy socks.